Welcome to the Spy Collection Digital Edition. My name is Anastasios, and in this episode I'll share with you a 2009 slide deck from Australia's DSD, the Defence Signals Directorate, which in 2013 got restructured as ASD, Australian Signals Directorate. It's a presentation which was released to the public by The Guardian in 2013, and it was originally coming from Edward Snowden's archive. DSD was responsible for Signals Intelligence or SIGINT for Australia, and of course it was part of the Five Eyes Intelligence Sharing Agreement. The other four eyes are the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and New Zealand. This internal presentation was from November 2009 and it was titled 3G Impact and Update. Starting in around 2001 to 2003 and continuing for almost a decade, most countries' mobile telecommunications operators were upgrading from the second generation to the third, the 3G, which enabled mobile digital broadband capabilities. In most countries, this migration took until 2010 or so to be completed. So in case you are curious what happens in SIGINT agencies when such significant communication milestones are taking place, this presentation will help you understand this. So in this presentation the classification is top secret and communications intelligence. So let's move to the first slide. The first slide was a quick overview of the status of Southeast Asian countries, which was of course the main focus of DSD due to Australia's geopolitical situation. We have the countries, the mobile operators, and the 3G launch date, which ranges from 2004 to 2008. As the slide says, 3G rollout in Southeast Asia was nearly completed when this presentation took place in 2009. So how could a SIGINT agency take advantage of this new technology? Apparently by exploiting its weaknesses to intercept communications of foreign government. And this is exactly what this slide is about. It's titled Indonesian Army Leadership Targets and Handsets and lists the top 10 targets from Indonesia along with the handsets they were using back then, all of them being 3G enabled. The list of the targets included the new vice president back then, the first lady, the former vice president, foreign spokesman, domestic spokesman, state secretary, and so on. It isn't known how DSD collected this targeting information from the leaked material, potentially from the mobile operators, human intelligence, open source intelligence, or maybe even intercepting their communications to identify the handsets being used. And moving to the third slide, we have this diagram with a small comment. The reason why I made the assumption that DSD had access to mobile operator data back then is this slide. What you're seeing is a typical link analysis diagram. At the center is the mobile phone of the target and the nodes indicate voice calls that this phone has made. According to DSD's comment, this was the analysis of Indonesia President's voice calls for 15 days from August 2009. It explicitly states CDR. CDR stands for Call Detail Record, and it's a standard type of data produced by telecommunication operators in their equipment. Thus, it is reasonable to believe that somehow DSD was able to steal those records from Indonesia's mobile operators and then load them to a link analysis tool to perform this analysis. In this case, the analysis of the President of Indonesia. The next slide continues with the result of this SIGINT analysis. The comment here stated that the redacted number on the right was a Thai number, but the Indonesian president made only one sub-minute call to it, so it didn't make the signal's development threshold that DSD had in 2009. Although pretty simple, it hopefully gives you a perspective on how such agencies try to make the most out of new communication technologies as soon as possible. So moving next, we have the last slide of the presentation. It is titled DSD Way Forward. They were planning to release a 3G paper with different exploitation options to present it to the leadership group with the end goal to choose an option and apply it to a target for SIGINT like Indonesia's leadership. I'm pretty sure that this slide deck would normally have more slides, but unfortunately those are the only ones that have been publicly released. Nevertheless, it gives a perspective on how SIGINT agencies are the first to exploit new technologies against their targets for intelligence collection. So the next time you hear about some brand new technology, remember that nothing is as it seems.